Alexa TV presents in 3, 2, 1. Dateline Schools with your host, Terry Harrington.
This week on Dateline Schools, we're visiting Marysville High School that hosted the 7th Annual 21st Century Learning Symposium, in which more than 700 educators from around St. Clair County participated. And our guest all this week, he was one of the keynote speakers for the event from the University of Michigan's Institute for Innovation in Education, Remi Holden. And Remi, yesterday you gave us a great definition of what you mean by connected learning, but you also mentioned that there's 3 different points that make that up. Can you explain those for us?
Sure. So we can speak about learning being interest-driven. So outside of school, I might be very passionate about particular forms of art, or maybe particular forms of politics. I might be using social networks and online platforms as well as face-to-face communications to explore my interest in art or my interest in politics. How is that interest-driven learning picked up inside of schools? How might my teachers and my peers in formal school settings draw upon and also seed my interest-driven learning for other academic achievements? And that academic achievement is a second component then of connected learning. How do we tie my interests outside of school and after school and across school to the kind of achievements I might have in a social studies class or even in a mathematics classroom? And then that third piece of connected learning that kind of ties into all of that is the fact that we have to be supported in our peers, that our peers help us learn, whether this is a peer-to-peer exchange in the 5th grade. And again, there are many educators here in Marysville who are doing some very innovative work around peer-supported learning in blended environments, who are doing mentoring within elementary schools with younger elementary school students. But we can also speak of peer-supported learning with teachers, with educators, their own professional learning networks supporting peer-supported learning in online spaces like the Mish Ed initiative on Twitter. But when we weave all that together, a student's interests outside of school, their academic achievement inside of school, and across all of that, peer-supported learning for both students and teachers, we have a very robust look at what we mean by connecting our learning.
Do you find that the kids adapt to this more than the teachers do?
I think that this is a way of describing in many respects what folks are already doing, that this is not a prescriptive kind of formula. Remi saying to you, well, this is what you should do, A, B, and C, and when they knit together, you get a present. Rather, we see people, again, many educators in the classrooms from kindergarten through college, who are already teaching in a variety of ways that can be described in this kind of connective sense. And that in doing so, they're also emboldening notions of civic engagement, as well as a notion of social and political justice through this work. And so rather than being prescriptive, this is more descriptive about some of the more innovative approaches that we see, whether we're looking at public schools, we're looking at charters, or we're looking outside of school in informal learning spaces.
We'll be back with more tomorrow. For Dateline Schools, I'm Terry Harrington.